Hello everyone, this is Michael Castillo with ILT 5003, Section 2, and this is going to be the recording for my video. In this video I have three parts. Obviously the first part, we're going to talk about why even going into the teaching field, why I'm pursuing a master's degree, and presenting how each theme is going to help me along the way. So, why teaching? No, I've always been questioning like, oh, you could go into a different profession, make more money, be less stressed out, and you know, maybe all of that is true. But I mean, the whole reason why I'm going into teaching is because it's fun. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy being around kids. Kids are special to me. Kids are awesome. And I really care about the future. And I had some great teachers, and I had some not so great teachers, and hopefully I end up being one of those great teachers that impacts a lot of kids, and hopefully down the line when I'm 30 years down the road, I have my kids come back to me saying like, hey, Mr. Castillo, like, remember you being such a big impact on me, and that's what I look forward to is making kids successful. Um, and that just leads to why I'm going for a master's degree because, well, I want to enhance my own learning and um, I'm extremely far away from being even a good teacher to think I would ever be a perfect teacher. I want to enhance my learning. I want to know how to teach kids better. I want to be able to go that extra step to reaching their needs. And going for this master's degree in curriculum instruction will definitely help out with that. And it's already helping out a bunch. I've already been learning so much from these three courses that I've been taking this semester for my first semester, and Um, I'm very fortunate to be in this position, so that's why I'm pursuing my master's degree. When it comes to education in the U.S., before even starting my undergrad at UTSA, I I only knew the education world as when I was in school, and that's pretty much all I knew about it. Like even when I was starting college, I didn't realize I wanted to be a teacher, but um, just starting to scratch the surface of it, it was finding out that education was when I was in college versus when I was in school has changed so much. And I've been hearing that like my whole life is that the education world is always changing. But for the most part, it's always um, been the same in performance in the U.S. compared to other countries and major subjects like math and science. So there are some lacking points, and then there are several districts, especially in San Antonio, that we have in our economic, very diverse city that some parts of the city struggle compared to other parts, and that's just the way it goes, and it's just very unfortunate that we see that, which is will lead into the interdisciplinary learning and teaching is whenever we have multiple core subjects combining with the curriculum. It always amazes me how you can combine subjects like math and reading, or how you can have writing and math. You just never think of that. But I've always been big on having, as a math teacher, that's what I want to be, and that's what my undergrad degree is, math and science. That's, you gotta have like those little writings, those little journals, goal settings. You want you want your kids to at least get warmed up for the class. So a little free write, just combining those curriculums, those content areas sure does help out. Then we get into something that, well, definitely needs a lot of attention, which is social justice in education. Um, I wish I could say every kid was equal. I wish I could say there was equity in every classroom, but there's not. But what I want to bring to my classroom is that I want there to be a safe classroom in my classroom. I want people to feel safe to make mistakes. I want anyone, regardless of their ethnicity, race, gender, sex, whatever they classify themselves as, I want them to be welcome into my classroom. And it's gonna be hard because every class is gonna be different every single year. Every student's gonna be different. They're not gonna be perfect little angels, and there's gonna be bumps along the road, and whenever I get to that bump, we'll just have to go from there. But for the most part, I want to create a safe environment for failure, for growing, not just for the students, but for me as well. And then we get into learning theories. Um, Learning theories, they're pretty much there to enhance the education process. We can't just have students just standing at the front, just talking, lecturing, and not having any diverse assignments whatsoever. Paper and pencil can only reach out to so many students. You got to have kids get out of their seats. You got to have kids moving around. You got to have them active. So if they're not moving, if they're just standing still, sitting still, they're not engaged. Now, most of them are not going to be engaged, and they'll just tone you out. So you got to have those diverse lessons to meet the students' needs, to meet your diverse learners, those who struggle in the classroom. That's why I really like um, differentiated instruction so much, because you want to be able to reach out to those students. You want to be able to reach out to those struggling kids who don't necessarily learn as well when the teacher is just lecturing the whole time. So that's why I really respect that, and that's what I plan to put into my classroom. I just don't want to just be lecturing out there, because that'll just get boring even for me. But you want to be able to reach your diverse learners, and you want to make sure you have a wide variety of diverse lessons to meet your diverse learners. Um, and that just jumps into today's learners. They're all different. Every single student is different. Not every single student is the same, and we just have to be able to reach out to their needs, whatever it may be. And I remember when I was doing my student teaching, I was thinking like, oh, teachers, they get off work as soon as the final bell rings, and no, like sometimes I stay till 5, sometimes I stay till late at 6, 8, and you know what? If it was to reach my students' needs, then so be it. I never had a problem with it. I mean, okay, the first week I did, because I was like, well, this is a little ridiculous. Why am I staying till 5 o'clock? But you know what? I was better prepared for the next day. I was able to tackle the issues the day before, the day prior, and I was able to go from there. And every student's going to be different. Every classroom is going to be different, and you just got to take them with a different approach, the positive mindset, and we'll be able to get this done. So this is part two. I'm going to go ahead and go into detail of the four main course objectives. So the first objective is recognize the socio-political nature of education. Um, in my words, the main purpose for students to go to school is to receive an education, to better their future, to be able to have opportunities to grow in society, to give society what it needs. Um, there are many different opinions to why students need to go to school, but in my opinion, it's for them to grow, to develop mentally, physically, to gain social skills, to form social skills, and to become better individuals. The second main course objective is explain key aspects of foundational theories and interdisciplinary learning and teaching. Going back to interdisciplinary teaching, you know, when we cross course objectives, um, it just helps feed off in how students can do better, not only in one content area, but to do better in multiple. And this develops knowledge. It promotes problem solving skills. It builds self confidence and self efficacy. It builds up self esteem, and kids are more active and engaged in their learning. And then finally, when we get into um, evaluating the ways in which key theories are manifested in diverse educational contexts, there are multiple ways to teach in the world. You have your standard basic lecture where the teacher stands up at the front of the room. Then you have your diverse learning where you have hands-on activities, you have students get out of their seats, you have students get out of the classroom. Um, this having a diverse set of activities is going to help reach your diverse learners, which leads to ask us how applications of key foundational theories meet the needs of diverse learners. Well, like I said earlier, every student is different. Every student learns different. Not every student's going to learn the same. So standing up at the front of the classroom, lecturing all day, is not going to reach out to all your kids. And that is why we need to have a wide variety of assignments that require kids to get out of their seats, be in groups, partners, get out of the classroom, field trips. You can't just stand at the front of the classroom the whole time. You got to be able to give them the freedom. You got to give them responsibility. This will help them grow their mental skills, their physical skills, social skills. And that's why I believe in reaching out to our diverse learners, because we need to reach out to what our kids need the most for to help them develop. Finally, in part three, um, the whole reason why I chose this profession was I wanted to be a teacher to make the future generations successful. Now, obviously, that's a really big, bold statement, but I'm going to try my hardest to make sure I give what my students need in order to be successful. Um, that's why we have, these social justice issues. We have learning theories and understanding that we have diverse learners that have to have their needs met in order for them to be successful. And that is why we have interdisciplinary learning and teaching, because we want our diverse learners, our struggling learners, to be successful, and we can't have that by just standing at the front of the classroom just lecturing the whole time. We have to have differentiated instruction. We got to have hands-on activities. We got to have students working in groups. We got to give them freedom. We got to give them responsibility. We got to give them choice. We need to let our students be kids. And, just not just this course, but the rest of my courses that I will take will definitely help me along this path. Like I said, I'm far from being a good teacher, especially even scratching the surface of being a perfect teacher. And whenever I get my foot in the classroom, I'll learn from my experience, from my mistakes, grow as a person every day, and look forward to what teaching has to bring to me. Thank you.